All right, everyone, welcome back. We are here for the finals between KiWiKaKi and Minigun. We see KiWiKaKi Minigun discussing if cannon rushes are in fact allowed. I actually need to fix my overlay because I was a little distracted with fixing the stream, so give me a second to do that. But before we do that, I do actually need to thank the sponsors one last time. The finals of Root Gaming Success Pays Invitational is going to be brought to you by all of our sponsors. We're not going to single any of them out because they've all done such a wonderful job. Thank you to Kingston Technology, Justin.tv, NerdStomper, NationVoice.com, and Root-Gaming.com. Please support all of these organizations as they have done a wonderful job of supporting this tournament and esports. All of them have been involved in other tournaments in the past. So thank you to the players for participating. Thanks to Root Dusk for his graphics work, AZK for the video, and Root Edward for helping organize this whole tournament. Sun Devil was a little bit too modest and did include himself in there, so thank you again to Sun Devil, who's been running the entire tournament. He's been harassing players, trying to make sure that they're online and in the channels, making sure everything works. So thanks to him as well. And most of all, thanks to everybody who tuned in and watched. Please do visit the sponsors. But this has been a wonderful tournament so far, and thanks for watching. So we see, you know, KiWiKaKi, Minigun. Who's going to win? What do you think? Predictions?
Ooh, my prediction is still KiWiKaKi. I think it's a 3-1 for KiWiKaKi. I think Minigun will take a game off him, but what we've seen from KiWiKaKi, he is very, very refined, and I know his PvP is among his best. So I have high hopes for Minigun. He's come a long way, but KiWiKaKi is still the ninja toss, and you know what? He's a flippin' ninja.
Yeah.
So
He is a ninja. Minigun is extremely modest, and he spent basically the entire series, last series overcasting it in chat, talking to everybody, which is really cool. But he was also saying that he was extremely not confident in this upcoming match. Lag. I hope that's not me. Is that me? Is that me?
Just there.
Arrgh.
It's okay. It's good now.
Okay, so, you know, he's extremely modest with saying that he's not confident in this match, but I think he'll do better than he gives himself credit for. So I'm thinking...
Bless you.
After I finish sneezing, I'm going to say... I'm going to give him a little bit more credit than he gives himself. I'm going to say 3-2. Because it's PvP.
Yeah.
It's a close matchup anyway. Both these players are really good. But I still have to give it to Kiwi. He's really, really good. I've seen him do things with warp gates and PvP that are disgusting. Like, I've seen him pull off a really solid 4-gate with 2. Just stupidly talented things. And mindset plays a lot into the factor. So, with Minigun even saying that he doesn't think he's going to win, do have to give that advantage to Kiwi.
Yeah. But you can't knock either player. Both players making it to finals. Each player, I think, at this point has earned about $400.
They've earned $250.
Oh,
if they win this, they will bump up to $420.
There you go.
Gaining an extra $170. But you can see, you know, Minigun has his warp gates done already. He is going to be putting some pressure onto KiWiKaKi, who is actually moving out for some pressure himself. This is why I'm saying, you know, they're both good players. PvP is very volatile. You cannot really predict this. That's why I think it will be 3-2. But Minigun still has a really good chance of taking this. Really, it's kind of a coin flip. They're both really good Protoss players, both on Root Gaming. They both have to be happy that they're playing a teammate at this point, because Root Gaming is a really closely knit team, and you know they'd rather be facing each other than someone else, because it means they both get to walk home with some money.
Yeah, it's going to be a very close one to call. You're absolutely right. But yeah, as you mentioned, all the players getting anywhere, even into the round of 16, earned a little bit of money. A very new concept for tournaments, I believe. I haven't seen many of these progressional tournaments, as Minigun does choose to pull back there to center field, so he's going to take up a little bit more of a defensive position, getting his robotics started. There it goes. So a little bit ahead of Kiwi in this right now. 4-gate versus 4-gate. Robotics, though, underway. And second gas well underway for Minigun. Only 1 gas right now for Kiwi. So tech-wise, the Golden Protoss boy is just going to be a little bit behind, just strictly based on gas right now.
Yeah, or KiWiKaKi could opt to not go for the robotics at all, because I mean, right now PvP is the age of the 4-gate.
Yes.
PvP revolves around 4 gateways at the moment. I was watching Didoro on his stream earlier today, and he was trying 3-gate robo versus the 4-gate, and it was with mixed success. Yeah. It is very difficult, and we see just a lot of units here from KiWiKaKi. This is going to be the difference of Minigun investing in the robotics and Kiwi not, but misplaced force field going to allow all these zealots up the ramp. Really big miscue here from Minigun. He's going to take a lot of damage from these zealots. Now the stalkers and zealots reinforcing, going to chase up the ramp. Minigun with that misplaced force field, that's all it takes to PvP. I mean, he's in a lot of trouble right now. He's going to be able to hold off for a little bit longer, but Kiwi, if he keeps constantly reinforcing, might be able to just run him over right now.
Yeah, it's almost a shame that this this matchup is so, I guess, so scripted, I want to say. 4-gate versus 4-gate. We see the same thing on the Europe realms as well. I guess the map size is going to change. Ooh, that's better.
Oh.
That's better.
Buy enough time to push him out of his base, get another sentry out onto the field. So you know KiWiKaKi not quite fast enough with that warp-in reinforcement, wasn't able to get those zealots out on the field. Minigun buying a little bit more time. A lot of the times that right there, missing your force field, letting the zealots in your base, that is it. So you can see KiWiKaKi still has an edge here, a lot of units. If you look at the army tab, you can see he's just a little bit ahead. And he's now getting his own robotics. Minigun hasn't been able to do anything with his robotics facility yet because he's been too busy defending. But KiWiKaKi's not going to let him relax at all, still camping out here at the bottom of the ramp. He's done with the really aggressive pushing up the ramp right now because there are sentries. He's now just sort of containing Minigun because he has his own sentry here saying, bring it on, I dare you, I'll force field you if you do. And now he's got his own robotics up. Minigun right now has to assume that there's a Nexus already started or soon from KiWiKaKi because this just really nice setup containment play from Kiwi usually leads into a Nexus, but Kiwi actually dropping like Council instead.
So Kiwi poking at the front there, just baiting some force fields, making sure that Kiwi is that Minigun is watching his front. Warp Prism coming out, so this signifies, I would say, Dark Templar.
Look at Minigun warping down here at the 6 o'clock.
Back door.
But KiWiKaKi was way on top of this. A lot of units waiting here at the ramp, just waiting for this sort of a strategy, but it is enough to force KiWiKaKi to stop camping his ramp. You can see his army is pulling back. Minigun will be able to get out of his base, maybe reinforced. Yeah, he's warping in more units at this proxy pylon. Both players trying to consolidate their armies for another rumble here in the center. But KiWiKaKi has a warp prism out. Minigun is teching to Colossus. So both players are diverging quite a lot. We'll have to see what he's going to do with this warp prism. As I would expect him to have some zealots loaded into this before he flies it into the base of Minigun, just to have it pack a little bit more of a punch. But he does not want to risk losing that warp prism with units loaded into it. So he's going to be flying it over there, empty, warping in straight into his opponent's base the old-fashioned way. But charge on the way for Kiwi, while Minigun is working on going to Colossus. So both players going in completely different directions now. This warp prism is going to be really crucial for Kiwi. How well will this work out?
Yeah, I wonder, because the warp prism flew by Minigun's pylon, but Minigun doesn't appear to be reacting to the warp prism at all. You can see that the whole bottom half of his platform obviously is vulnerable to a phasing drop there, kind of thing. So I wonder if Kiwi's just not scouting. He's obviously not using the observer to check that bottom point, but I worry that Minigun maybe didn't actually catch it, even though it flew right by, kind of thing. So we'll see a Zealot leg speed obviously just finishing for this engagement here, so there will be a slight advantage in Kiwi's court. Colossus, though, going to be well on the way first on the map here for Minigun. Getting the Thermal Lance first, though. I don't really Oh, there's one
He
Colossus
did get
there.
one Colossus out.
Okay,
Yeah,
there it is.
Thermal Lance was actually delayed, and he is delaying the second Colossus for that upgrade. And with this charge and minigun going for Colossus is actually really good for him. He got the Nexus up first. If he can get a couple more Colossus on the field, Kiwi is really relying on these Zealots. And once you get 2 to 3 Colossus, they just melt. So you see engagement here. Nice force field. It's going to block out a lot of these units. Some of them will be able to charge in, but Minigun takes the upper hand in this engagement.
Yes.
Minigun is looking really well to take home the first game in this series. You know, like I was saying, he was underselling himself quite a lot in chat earlier.
Drop is underway, though, in Minigun's base there, sorry. As he does warp in some Zealots, firstly on the high ground, then gets into there, forcing Minigun off of mining onto his second natural there. Minigun counter-pushing all the way into Kiwi's base. Kiwi not walling it off. It's not going to work against the Colossus, of course. Charge trying to surround, but significant damage being done in Minigun's base here right now, as Minigun is forced to reinforce at his home instead of the offensive where he wants to be.
Yeah, and this is not very good for KiWiKaKi though, because he just had to pull all of his probes, and they all just melted into
Yes.
Colossus. He kept most of his probes alive here at his natural here for for Minigun. You know, one Colossus does go down, but there's still another one on the field. Minigun is completely rolling over the base of Kiwi.